For the 100% cheapest coins on the internet with reliable delivery and quick customer support, check out my sponsor MMOEXP by clicking the link at the top of the description and use code SWIFT at checkout for 5% off. Let's go. Social family, and today I'm coming back at you guys with another Madden 21 video on the channel, and in today's video we have another episode of MUT Team Review. Now the way this series works is you guys send me your teams on Twitter and I review them live in a video to go over some of my favorite players and talk about some positions you can be upgrading at, as well as some upgrades you can actually make to your team. Now if you guys do like this series and you want another part to this where I go over even more teams in a couple of weeks, leave a like down below. If this video gets to 1,000 likes, I will do another part to the video, but without further ado, let's get into this one. So let's get into team number 1 right here, boys. The way this series does work is I started off by going over your offense, talk about some of my favorite cards on your offense, and maybe even roast some of the players you've got there, and then I go over some upgrades you can make to that side of the ball. We do the exact same thing on the defense, and then at the end of it, I'll give your team a rating out of 10. So getting into the offense right here, I'm a big fan of the Aaron Rodgers card. I do love the stats on him, and in my opinion, he's probably the best QB in this game right now. Bo Jackson is a solid running back. Love Tyreek Hill, love Darren Waller. I'm not a fan of Andre Johnson. I know his new card is solid now that you can get him up to a 98 with chemistries, but I still don't think he's really worth it at the wide receiver 2 spot, and I don't love Trent Williams either. So in terms of upgrades, I think the main thing is we really got to upgrade that Andre Johnson card. You could maybe look to get someone like Marvin Harrison if you're looking to literally pick up the best receiver in this game, or if you're a little bit more on a budget, T.Y. Hilton's going to be a really good player for you, aka Eugene. He'll get up to 98 speed, he's got the route runner archetype as well, so just a couple of suggestions there at wide receiver. Now on the defense right here, I'm a big fan of the Deion Sanders card, best corner of the game in my personal opinion. Lawrence Taylor's got some really sick stats at right outside linebacker. I'm a big fan of Jair Alexander, nice stats on that player as well. He has my first adopted child in Eddie Jackson at free safety. You do love to see that right there. Joey Bosa at left end, a pretty good card. Montez Sweat pretty solid as well. So those are probably some of my favorite players on this defense, and now let's get into upgrades really quickly. Now my only potential adjustment right here is Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson is my child, but if you are looking for another free safety to pick up, you can maybe go down the road of Darnell Savage, or if you're looking for someone a little bit cheaper than that, potentially Sean Taylor's 50 card. Just a couple of potential upgrades if you are looking to make that change on defense. Otherwise, I think this is a really good defense, and I don't really have a ton of other changes. Another thing you maybe could do is potentially get Derwin James, power him up, and you can actually just use training on him, and he'll be a pretty good upgrade over Tyrann Mathieu. But otherwise, this is a nice team. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 when it comes to ratings. So team number 2 in the video, another 96 overall squad headlined by Deshaun Watson. Incredible card right there. I'm assuming you're using your power up pass on him. Very big fan of the Deshaun. I love Terry McLaurin as well at wide receiver 1. Really good player right there on offense. AK-41 is also a sick card, so you got a couple of pieces that I really do like on this offense. I think Corey Dillon is the best budget fullback in the game, and the O-line looks pretty solid as well. Now in terms of upgrades, the player I would recommend you probably get rid of is DK Metcalf. Assuming you did purchase his card, you can actually sell off DK for a pretty solid amount of coins and then power up Marvin Harrison. I can see that you did use route technician on DK, so if you make that change, you'll actually be saving yourself an AP as well as getting a 99 speed end game wide receiver in Marvin Harrison. Just a quick tip, if you are trying to get Marvin on your team, I would recommend you do the set for him. The set is going to cost you about 450k, whereas the card currently sells for close to 600k, so just an option right there, but I would definitely recommend you look to pick up Marvin Harrison at wide receiver. Now on defense, this is probably where I might have a couple more adjustments. A couple of my favorite players on this defense to start off with that are going to be firstly Deion Sanders. You guys know I absolutely love that card. Jamal Adams has really nice stats as well, and Steve Atwater is a really good safety. Actually a pretty solid budget safety there in Steve Atwater. Now for upgrades on this defense, I don't have a ton of different upgrades to go with, but the one thing that I did notice is that you only have your sprinter at 27 out of 40, so if you can get that up to 40 out of 40, you will get an additional speed boost. Everyone that has sprinter on them, you can basically add sprinter to every single person on your defense and your offense other than the offensive line, and that'll ensure that you get up to 40 out of 40. It is fairly expensive, but I would say it is definitely worth it in the long run. But otherwise, yeah, I'd continue to be patient with your upgrades. I think you're in a really good spot, and I wouldn't really recommend you overpay on that many cards. Marvin Harrison is one player you should pick up, but otherwise, we're going to give this team an 8 out of 10. Now, I'm not including this full team review in the video, but look at this. He has Jim Thorpe's 95 overall card, the ultimate legend that is a running back at corner, and he's up to a 99 on a Giants theme team. Kind of wild right there. I'm just including that in the video. The next squad we're going to be going over in this video is a 95 overall team with quite a few coins in the bank and a very interesting lineup here. As you can see, he's got Mike Vick at QB. I absolutely love the Terry McLaurin, one of my favorite cards on offense. In terms of players that I don't like, I actually don't love the Michael Vick at QB. We'll probably get into an upgrade there very shortly, but yeah, those are kind of my favorites and least favorites. Love Terry, don't love Michael Vick. Otherwise, I don't really like or dislike that many cards on this team. Now, the first quick upgrade you're gonna have to make is that offensive line. Right guard and left guard gotta go. I made a video on my channel going over the best value offensive linemen, I would say a couple weeks ago. I will leave that linked in the description. Watch that video and you can find some 92 or 93 overall O linemen that have really good stats and aren't crazy expensive. So that's the upgrade right there. At wide receiver, we're probably going to keep this receiver core, but at QB, if you love to scramble with your quarterback, I would recommend you try and level up to max MUT level and then put that power up pass on Deshaun Watson. He'll play better than Michael Vick. You could put Gunslinger on him, and you can also still have Escape Artist on your QB, but he's going to have better throwing stats. And if later in the year you want to switch your scheme, you can take Escape Artist off of Deshaun Watson and put Hot Route Master on him. He's the most versatile QB in this game, hands down. So that's kind of what I'd recommend you do in terms of upgrades. Let's get that offensive line up, let's get that MUT level up, and let's end up getting that Deshaun Watson card. Potentially, you could also upgrade at wide receiver. A couple of solid value wide receivers in this game could be people like Santana Moss. He isn't crazy expensive, but he's a really good card right there. Maybe someone like Eugene T.Y. Hilton if you do want to make that upgrade, or if you're looking to spend a little bit more and you just want a really good card, maybe someone like T.Y. Hilton could be good, or maybe Marvin Harrison. But on defense, this is a very interesting defense with probably quite a few upgrades we're going to want to make here. Starting it off with my favorite and least favorite cards, I am a very big fan of the Minkah Fitzpatrick. I know that's weird to say, but as a budget card, I do like him very much. I don't think he's that great on this team, but he is going to be a good card for you. Now, Chase Young is someone who I also do very much like. I absolutely love that rookie premier card. I can't believe we got him for free. Really sick card right there. Otherwise, Denzel Ward is solid, but we do have a lot of upgrades to make on this defense, so let's get started. Now, upgrade number 1, Jamal Adams. We gotta get his full card, get that man up to a 99. Upgrade number 2, Deion Sanders. Get that boy up to a 99 as well. Those two cards are crazy good. Number 3, let's try and get Eric Reed at free safety. We can sell off that Minkah Fitzpatrick card, and maybe we go down the road of Eric Reed, maybe we go down the road of Sean Taylor. Either way, we need an upgrade there. Now, finally, if you are looking to splurge and you do have some extra coins later on, Lawrence Taylor could be an upgrade to make, but I would say firstly you want to get Jamal Adams, then go with Deion Sanders full card, then go for an upgrade at free safety, and then finally Lawrence Taylor. Now, in terms of rating this team, it is a tough one. I'm going to probably give this team a 7 out of 10, but again, he's a bit lower overall, so it's harder to rate him and be like, oh, you want to get these good players, but I know he's a little bit more pressed for coins. So the next team, this guy only has 476 coins. Get your coins up, boy. MMO EXP. But yeah, in terms of my favorite players, I do really like the Jermichael Finley and the Alvin Kamara card. Those are two really good players right there. In terms of my least favorites, I gotta say, I don't love Russell Wilson. I think that the Escape Artist meta really isn't the move this year, so we'll probably go for an upgrade there, and I'll talk about some options for you. And then at wide receiver, I can't say I really love any of these 3 receivers, but we'll get into upgrades there as well. Now, the first thing to do is quickly pick up my son, Corey Dillon, at fullback. He's a really good fullback card for you. If you do like to run fullback dive and score your touchdowns that way, he's going to be really good for you. So replace Kyle Juszczyk there. Really inexpensive upgrade. We're going to probably keep the O-line as is at QB. Here are some of my options. I would say you should probably transition to a Hot Route Master and Gunslinger quarterback. You could even pick up Rich Gannon, and he would be just fine for you. Maybe Randall Cunningham if you are looking to keep that high speed like Russell Wilson does. He could be a good option for you, but I would say you are going to want to transition to a Hot Route Master offense. I can see that you are actually using a route ability on Jermichael Finley, so you can actually save the AP and utilize a Hot Route Master QB. You'll be able to put hot routes on any of those receivers, and you can take that ability off of Jermichael Finley. It'll net being very similar with your total AP cost, so that's what I'd recommend you do. You're going to want to get a new QB, but otherwise we're probably not going to adjust wide receiver because quarterback's a little bit more important. Now on defense, we're probably going to make some changes here as well. My favorite players on this defense are going to be Jamal Adams, really good stats on the card. Sean Murphy-Bunting is a solid card there as well. I am a fan of the Montez Sweat and Steve Atwater players as well. I see you got TJ Watt. Don't really love that card a whole ton. He's good though. Now let's get into a few upgrades. Now the number 1 hole hole I see on this defense is at cornerback. CJ Henderson isn't really that crazy good. You've got Tre'Davious White, not that good either. I would personally say if you're looking to upgrade at cornerback, you could get someone like Deion Sanders if you want the cream of the crop and the best corner out there. But if you're looking for someone a little bit worse than that who's going to be much cheaper, Marcus Peters, man, that card plays crazy good for me. I would have to say that he is probably the best corner I have played with this year. He could easily be the CB1 on your team if you do power him up. So that's what I'd recommend you do on the defensive side of the ball. In terms of a rating for this team, we'll give this team a 7.5 out of 10 as well. The next team we've got in this video is a pretty interesting 97 overall team as well. Patrick Mahomes at QB, I would say I do like that card. He's solid. It really depends on how you use him. It looks like you are looking for a mobile QB because you do actually have escape artist on him. So if you're looking for someone who's more mobile, that's also going to be able to transition to Hot Route Master later in the year, again, I would say potentially go with someone like Deshaun Watson or Randall Cunningham. Randall Cunningham's going to be a cheaper option, so that's definitely someone you could do. Now, running back, Edgerrin James. We haven't seen that card on any teams yet. This is actually a really good running back. I know he's an LTD, but you can get him for pretty inexpensive because of the fact that so many people are pulling him out of the training reroll. So I do like that running back right there. Wide receiver, we'll get into some changes in a second. Darren Waller, I do like that card quite a bit. In terms of upgrades on this team, I think wide receiver, you might want to power up Marvin Harrison. He'll be an endgame receiver for you, 99 speed, a route runner archetype. And then maybe at quarterback, we do go for an upgrade. I would say wide receiver is more pressing need. Get Marvin Harrison, man. I see you got a lot of coins. You can do the set for him, and you could get him for like 450k. Now on defense, again, a fairly interesting defense right here. Love the Derwin James and Jamal Adams combination at strong safety. Rod Woodson, I gotta say, I don't love that card. I feel like whenever I play against him, I'm targeting Rod Woodson on the field. Otherwise, Sean Murphy-Bunting has good stats. Antonio Cromartie is going to be nice as well. Jesse Bates at free safety, that's an interesting route to go down. I would say you could potentially make an upgrade there. Maybe sell off Jesse Bates unless he's your NAT card and pick up Justin Reed. That could be a solid upgrade to make it free safety. Otherwise, the D-line looks great. Eddie Jackson at backup free safety. You'll love to see that right there. I think the main adjustments on this team are we're going to want to get that Marvin Harrison wide receiver, maybe Randall Cunningham at QB, and then maybe someone like Justin Reed at free safety. We're going to give this team an 8.5 out of 10. I do like the construction quite a bit, and because you have Eddie Jackson, that does boost up the score a little. So yeah, now ending this one off right here, I want to thank everyone so very much for submitting their teams. Honestly, so much support for the series. So if you guys do drop a like and you do enjoy the video, I'll continue to do more episodes of this as the year continues to progress. But yeah, let's go over this offense first really quickly. Love Deshaun, love Alvin, love Darren Waller. We're not going to say the same thing we've said before. You guys know my favorite cards right there. Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz might be the two best budget right tackle and left tackle players. They're not the most expensive at their position, but they've got really good stats. Honestly, the whole offensive line you've constructed is really sick. Cortland Sutton is an interesting wide receiver right there. I don't know that I love him. I would say maybe sell him off and pick up Marvin Harrison. I know we've been talking Marvin so much, but you can actually get him to 99 speed. Sutton doesn't get to 99 speed, and he's not a route runner archetype. So that's the main upgrade we're probably going to want to make on offense. Otherwise, this team is looking sick on O. So getting into the defense right here, I see some players that I like, and I see some players that definitely need to get upgraded. First of which is Deion Sanders. Great card right there. You guys know I feel about Deion. Probably the best corner in this game, and he's been the best corner for so very long. Kyle Fuller, an interesting player. I was considering picking him up because he actually wasn't selling for that crazy of a price, but I do like the stats on the card. I would say all your corners are looking pretty good right there. I do like Joey Bosa as well at left end. Jesse Bates is going to be good for you. In terms of upgrades, I see a clear upgrade at strong safety. Power up Jamal Adams. He will get to a 99 overall very, very easily, and then he can be your new starting strong safety. If you play with multiple safeties on the field, let's get rid of Bob Sanders and let's pick up Derwin James. That's going to be an incredible safety combination for you. Otherwise, I do like the way this team was built. I would say it's probably an 8.5 out of 10. And yeah, that's really going to do it for me, boys. Honestly, I feel like we saw a whole bunch of variety of teams in today's video. Most were similar overalls, but we had a lot of players at different positions with different overalls and different constructions of teams. I didn't really go over that many budget teams. I probably should have, but I just didn't see that many as I was scrolling through these submissions. But yeah, either way, that's going to do it for me. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.